Welcome to Cricket World TV Hotspot, and it's time for another county cricket roundup because we've had 3 of the 4 NatWest T20 Blast quarter-finals, and here to discuss it with me, John Pennington, I'm delighted once again to welcome Matt Carter. Morning, Matt.
Good morning, how are you doing today?
Very, very well. Lots of exciting 2020 cricket to talk about, so let's get on with it. Let's start with the first, well, what was going to be the first quarter-final, I suppose, between Lancashire and Glamorgan. Delayed, first of all, but eventually really impressive. I suppose they got a game on, and then Lancashire, too good in the end, and they go through to the finals.
Yeah, first things first, you've got to give credit to the groundsman for that one. How they got a game on, we'll never know. I mean, it was difficult for the players to have to wait nearly 24 hours to get a start, and then when they did, it didn't really go to script. I mean, it was a relatively low-scoring game, whether that was to do with the pitch, possibly. And after posting 137, I think it was, Lancashire, Glamorgan looked set to beat them. I mean, they were 92 for 2. They looked like they were cruising, and then they lost
delayed
3 wickets over.
Really impressive. I suppose they got a game on, and then Lancashire, too good. Sorry about that, Matt. Carry on.
No problem. That's all right. Yeah, all I was saying was Glamorgan looked like they were going to win the game. They were 92 for 2 in pursuit of 137, and then it all suddenly fell apart for them, really. They collapsed to 100 for 6. Jordan Clark took 3 in and over, and everything sort of unravelled, and Jack Rudolph was left at the other end pretty much wondering what on earth was going on. And it's unfortunate for Glamorgan, but these things can happen in knockout cricket. I mean, it's different to the group stages now. There's a pressure about it, and you have to give Lancashire credit for finding a way through that one, because they haven't really been a bowling side in this tournament, and they are now without Junaid Khan, so tremendous character for them. But I like to say that the winner probably was the groundsman for actually getting a result out of that, because nobody wanted to see a bowl out.
They certainly didn't. Credit also to the umpires. I think they were very on the ball as well. We would work out exactly what sort of game could be played. And Jordan Clark taking a 3-wicket maiden. You don't see too many of those in any form of cricket, let alone 2020 cricket.
No, I think at one stage he had figures of 4 for 4, Jordan Clark, so he was certainly the game changer in that one. As I say, Glamorgan were seemingly set for a first to finals day appearance, but it wasn't to be, unfortunately, for them.
Then we had Surrey taking on Worcestershire, and I think we all thought that Surrey were probably going to be too strong for Worcestershire on this occasion, and so it proved. And another superb innings from a man that we spoke about 2 or 3 weeks ago now as a potential star of the future in international cricket, Jason Roy.
Yeah, Jason Roy, he's actually carrying this Surrey batting lineup a little bit. I mean, we saw on Saturday afternoon, once he got out, things unravelled a little bit, and had Worcestershire have got 20 or so more runs, you never know what might have happened. But he's such a brilliant player at the moment. I mean, you look at his 2020 average, it's remarkable. I think it's nearing around 50 this year. He is just frighteningly good, and has probably been the batsman of the summer in terms of 2020 cricket. But Surrey looking very dangerous. I think you look at their bowling attack, and they've got all bases covered. They've got spin in Batty and Peterson, and then they've got pace from Matt Dunn and a bit of guile from Azhar Mahmood. It looks a really impressive bowling attack, and they've got experience as well, which is going to be pretty pivotal, I think, as we enter the business end of the tournament. And it does tend to be the sides who can apply the squeeze as Surrey do tend to prosper in the later stages.
Yeah, it's a really good point. The balance of the squad is so important. Of course, they've got experience after last year's finals day, and plenty of experience of other games as well, likes of Azhar Mahmood in there too. Other game last night then saw Essex take on the Birmingham Bears, and I think a lot of people will be quite surprised here that Birmingham managed to beat Essex down at Chelmsford, but you weren't so surprised, because I think you thought that Essex had maybe peaked a bit too early.
Yeah, I mean, Essex, they cantered into the last day, and then they've really gone off the boil. I think they lost their last 3 T20 games. And on first look, I did think that Essex would probably win the game. But, I mean, Birmingham haven't been great, but in contrast to Essex, they are starting to peak. I think they've won 3 and 3, Birmingham. I mean, I did say one of their weaknesses was a lack of power hitters, and then they went and got their highest score of the season at 198. And as good as Essex are at chasing down massive totals, it's very different chasing down these totals in knockout games. It's a big ask, and especially against the Birmingham side, who with the ball are pretty miserly. I mean, Jeetan Patel, we've spoken a bit about him already over the season. He has been probably the bowler in one-day cricket. He gives absolutely nothing away, and it is a big asset to them. And they are starting to peak, and for Essex, it'll be frustrating how good they have been to have just seen their tournament peter out, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think that was always going to be the danger for them, because I remember talking to some Birmingham fans a few weeks ago, and they thought, well, I don't think we're going to get in because we've got to win nearly all of our games. And you often get that with teams. If they have to win all of the games, and they do, they're on sort of riding a wave of momentum, if you like, and really on top of the game when it really matters. So they're looking good. And of course, today's game, which you're off to, Matt, Nottinghamshire, Hampshire. How do you call that? That's two, almost giants of well, certainly Hampshire, incredible 2020 pedigree. Nottinghamshire having an extraordinarily good season. So should be a cracking game. The sun's out as well, so it should be a good one.
Yeah, it's a really exciting prospect, this one. I mean, you look at Nottinghamshire, I think they've won 7 of 7 of the last T20 games in all one-day games. I think they've won 9 in 10 and tied the other one, and they're just playing so well at the minute. I mean, they've got a squad to choose from where there's nobody really who isn't pulling their weight. When they need someone stands up. I mean, we had Ajmal Shahzad and Stephen Mullaney in the Royal London Cup, who produced a remarkable partnership earlier on in the week, but they just look so good. I think the only thing with Nottinghamshire is they've got this quarter-final problem in T20 cricket. I think they've reached possibly 3 out of the last 4, and they've lost all of them. So they need to get over that. And Hampshire have been a little bit indifferent in this format, but they have that experience. I think they've made the last 4 finals days, won 2 of them, and they have big game players as well. Glenn Maxwell is the big danger for Notts. I mean, he's been relatively quiet in this format, but he scored 100 last week in the Royal London I think got 140 off about 98 balls. So he is a huge danger. And then, of course, you've got your Carberries, your James Vinces, people like that. And Hampshire's attack is also pretty balanced as well. It looks a close one to call. You'd say the form book would favour Notts because they're riding on a momentum train at the minute. And we talk about Hampshire's talent, but Nottinghamshire, they can possibly beat them on that. You look at the likes of Hales and Lum, Taylor, Vessels having an excellent season. Then with the ball as well, Notts, that's been pretty underrated this year. Harry Gurney and Luke Fletcher have probably been 2 of the best limited over seamers around. So everything bodes for an excellent fixture in that one.
Great stuff. We'll enjoy that. And just before we let you go, Matt, the Royal London Cup, that sort of got underway 10 days ago or so. Just give us your sort of update on that, because it's quite interesting, and you've obviously done a piece on this on the website, which I'd thoroughly recommend. Go to cricketworld.com and our county section. But it's an interesting one because you've got teams like Gloucestershire and Derbyshire at the top of one of the groups.
Yeah, Group A has been a little bit strange. I mean, you would have fancied Hampshire, Lancashire, Essex, the normally traditional one-day pals over recent years, to come good, but Lancashire have lost 2 in 2, Hampshire have lost 2 out of 3, and then, as you say, Gloucestershire are top of the table. Derbyshire would be top, but they were deducted 2 points for a poor pitch last year, which is a little bit harsh on them, but they're looking really good at the minute. Wayne Madsen scored 2 centuries in 2 innings, so yeah, I think it gives these sides, your Gloucestershire and Derbyshire, one last chance to resurrect something out of seasons that were probably petering into nothing. But on the whole, this tournament is looking a massive upgrade on what we had last year, primarily being that we haven't got an endless run of meaningless fixtures. There's only 8 games to be played per county, and there is actually quarter-finals, which makes a big difference rather than just the top side going through from a group of 6 as it was last year, which had a lot of meaningless fixtures towards the end. So it's definitely an improvement. Yeah, and just a little bit of focus on this second group, since we looked at the first one. Again, it's Nottinghamshire, who just look unbeatable at the minute. It's developing into a theme of the season. I mean, I think they're the only side who can challenge on all 3 fronts at the minute. They're top of that one, and Birmingham or Warwickshire are doing pretty well again in that one. Their skill set, I'd probably say, are more suited to the 50-over cricket, with the perhaps a limitation of power hitters. So they'll be one to watch. And then we've also got Kent, who are 2 in 2, and Kent are a really interesting side. I think possibly they might just be turning a corner after a couple of years in the doldrums. So keep a watch on them. And I mentioned for Sam Billings, who scored, I think, 148 balls I think it was on Wednesday against Somerset. So in terms of performance of the week, that's going to take some beating.
Yeah, that was some game there, wasn't it? It was sort of 380, played 370, and Somerset went down by, 2 or 3 runs on the duck with the Lewis method. So plenty of drama, plenty of excitement in the Royal London Cup, and long may it continue. I agree. I think this season, in terms of formats, you've got very sort of similar setups with 2 groups of 9 for the 3 competitions, and it's working really well. So well, good, well done to the ECB really for sort of getting it right. So, well, that's about it for this week's hotspot, Matt. We better let you get ready to head over to Trowbridge. Have a great day, and we'll no doubt catch up with what happened next week.
Yeah, no problem. I'll be filling you in next week, I'm sure.
Great stuff, and thank you very much for watching us here on Cricket World TV Hotspot.